Trailblazers from the Astral Express. Welcome to the Dreamscape Sale Store. Oh, please excuse me. I struggle to think of an appropriate way of addressing such esteemed guests as yourself. You must be here to experience those dream bubbles. I've already made the necessary preparations. Be careful, though. However, this dreamscape will feature unfiltered and unpolished fresh memories. It will make for a very vivid experience. Veteran gamers call this type of dream a thrill dream. I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. If you feel any discomfort, please leave the dreamscape immediately and seek professional medical help. Luckily, I just so happen to be an excellent doctor, albeit a psychiatrist. You a doctor? Let us begin. Please, close your eyes. Oh yes, I nearly forgot. But
the nature of this memory is special. Don't ruin the dreamscape experience for anyone else by...
oh yes, I nearly forgot. That elegant girl mentioned something before she left.
The nature of this memory is special. Don't ruin the dreamscape experience for anyone else by spoiling the ending.
Don't know what that means. Ending. 67.
Tread carefully.
And the hall. Bit laggy. It's like buffering. I think my Wi-Fi's
In my estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
I should look at her perspective.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, and worst, you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Hello, Firefly.
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, being smashed over the head with a hammer in the middle of the street for no reason at all? This is not the kind of thing that happens on Penacony. You are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
He's like... Paper.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that's something rather than hearing endless explanations.
No, no, no. Hey, you can save that for the end.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I know that's Firelight. It has to be. Because what was that would be here?
Then on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been used to a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the Ideen Park.
I'm not even sure.
Even in the reflections of the wine glass. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, I left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. Don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find...
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But the address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony.
Oh, wait, so she challenged you beforehand? Before the start of the quest?
Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter. That's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So, maybe you can just, let me go.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Oh, wow. Will we learn about Sample's past? Or what the fuck he even is?
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh.
So fucking
Yeah. Huh. Huh.
Hello, blood.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Regarding the victim.
Who was the victim?
An IPC employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long sleeves walked right past Shamari, then suddenly assaulted him with a hammer.
So that's the hammer over there.
Shamari collapsed on the spot and woke up from the dream.
Ooh, that sounds just like Sparkle.
Regarding the sweet dreams trope, is it at the scene of crime?
Who are those two little guys?
The little guy is a funky monkey. And that thing that was fucking...
Seems like the assailants stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. What nerve. They don't even have the slightest consideration. Those two have clammed up. I wonder if you two could help pry open their mouths.
Looks like a puzzle that Sparkle...
Regarding the evidence at the scene of crime.
Any leads yet?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues yet. All we have to go by are the weapon used by the... They didn't even take the weapon with them. Sounds like they're trying to provoke us. Despicable.
Where's Mr. Shamari right now?
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari expressed that he understands the unpredictable nature of dreams, and went on to vacation in another dream. Best not to bother him. Guest experiences always have to come.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him...
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of sparkles then.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case.
That is so fucking stupid. It sounds like a kid.
Mr. Coldfeet, why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. Ahem. I understand Lady Black Swan has quite the intellect. I'm sure you'll be able to get to the
Why does
bottom
it
of
sound-
the Sparkle murder case.
Why does this sound like early, force fire videos? Those Lego videos? Why does it sound like when he was like doing it when I was a kid?
The Sparkle murder case? Wasn't the victim
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family.
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case.
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot. Such a brutal act of violence.
Like, I think I remember with Sparkle. I remember her trailer. I don't even know that's even her. That's like, it's hard to tell that's even her real identity.
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before, but they were unexpectedly ambushed by the Annihilation Gang.
The Annihilation Gang are all dead.
They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided. So they all shipped.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Is the case
No, there can only be 1 murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers.
if you can't justify...
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have cooperated on anything. So it must have been one of them acting alone.
That actually doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Even if they were on bad terms, those 3...
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of... I've got the case file right here.
That is the most dumbest shit ever.
Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into... Last of all comes Right. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Left...
Hang on, I'm confused here.
What? Where did you get that idea from? Do you need...
Wait, let me see. Damn, let's introduce you.
That won't be necessary.
No wonder you're...
Holy moly! This hammer is so...
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands.
Okay, we get okay. Now let's investigate the
Look, an ID card. Talent.
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape. The fact that this...
Okay.
Is that all the evidence? Oh, you scared me!
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no one, but there are still some other clues that were placed in other...
Isn't that a bit...
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who...
You know, it's bullshit.
Seems quite nice of her, if you...
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer then.
You still this is a detective. This is so funny. Oh wow, I know this thing.
What's this little device here for?
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously. Miss Sparkle also has her own button. The second she pushes hit, you and the...
That sounds like both buttons can do the exact same thing.
Correct. Exactly the same.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me?
okay.
Because she is fair.
This is nuts!
Yeah. She's fucking insane.
This notice seems like a hint for us.
Okay, to prevent criminals from hunting our great lovely Miss Sparkle. The Golden residents shall abide by all regulations otherwise. Our interiors are responsible to exit the Golden residents system. Those who cannot pass through the facial system will be killed on the spot. These regulations are in effect immediately. Wow.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition...
This is so her style, isn't it?
Yes.
What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll...
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
Oh my god. And I am surprised you actually say it out loud.
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about...
I see. Thank you for your keen insight.
Hey, look, she sounds annoyed.
Then, let's pretend we were misled by a red herring.
You don't have to play along.
Doesn't look like there are any more clues.
Okay, so I have to go back.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? This evidence. Lefton, that guy lost. Remember Zhongshan's face? I remember this one best.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer? After all, there are only 3 suspects, so elimination could be a valid method.
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind?
Alright, I have to go through the evidence. Be like a little detective here. Okay, let's see, where were they? Okay, John Hammer Sparky used to try. See the customary model for distributing even chef what a Herculean copy of Goldberg's security Sparkle Pro made it up on the spot just for this detective game. Prevent criminals from reading our great love of Sparkle. Go Hammers and show by herring. Later experiences you can re-examine the details of the puzzle.
Have you got any more questions? Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be. Last of all comes Right. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies. After that, that's all the intel we have.
Okay, Sanchez the one who lost his hand.
So, who remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured?
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe. If that's the case, then he couldn't have made it through the Goldhammer residence's fate. That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
Okay, we got that part.
Have you got any more questions? Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants. Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some. Last of all comes Right. This guy. That's all the intel we have.
So, who exactly?
Lefton, that guy. Oh, is that so?
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Swinging that giant sledgehammer to murder someone. That must be hard for him. Probably impossible. Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
By process of elimination, it seems that only...
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I kind of figured this.
Please begin your investigation, lady.
The murderer is...
You have answered correctly!
Honestly, that
As
was kind of
expected,
obvious.
you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
I mean, that wasn't really that hard. You call him greedy? So, what? And that's like incredibly cliche for the villain to be the dick. So, that's like the beginning of detective stories. So how cliche that is.
Huh? The next
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior. I'm afraid this chase may just go on forever.
Like, it's just 26 minutes in.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a...
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does. Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to try... Yeah.
Actually, I want to see what a hint does.
Make a wish.
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Noted. Okay. So we're gonna fight you.
Enjoy Clocky's pizza.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess. And those two weirdos are probably here too.
There's nobody else at the scene. Seems like Miss Sparkle used the same method to send dreamers back to reality. Let's talk to those two there, then.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo.
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Detective Santa. You know, those two are like sounding more like Spark.
Why are you talking like that? Is
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a...
Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my grandma's backyard.
You're robots. And you're so stupid.
Huh. The skit this time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then. The victim is a galactic business magnate named Sparkle.
Of course.
her again?
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out.
Sparkle's eating fucking 50 cents.
a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on. But instead, discovered Miss Sparkle's body! There were 3 suspects on the scene. Namely, a Pepeshi shopkeeper named Wright, a Foxian gambler named Zhang Shan, and a wealthy Intellitron trader called Lefton.
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart.
Miss Sparkle is so gracious.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these 3, and they were not working in cahoots.
You're too late.
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul—
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you'll be able to cut through the hogwash and find out who Miss Sparkle's...
It's like, you know, I'm quite curious. Just give me a second. I'm quite curious. Okay, we're gonna have Sempo. Let's see, where is he? Information, voice. Yeah.
Think you got her all figured out, do you? Well, that's exactly what she wants you to think. Trust me, she's so cunning, she could even outwit herself.
Well, that's like insane.
Same rule as always. No backstabbing, okay?
Yeah, it seems alright.
Let me introduce the identities of these suspects to you. It's very straightforward. First of all is the shopkeeper, Wright. He's one of the Pepeshi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is often a source of teasing for him. He can get pretty salty about it. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her. Finally, there was the gambler Zhang Shan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. That's all the information we have.
That won't be necessary.
That won't be necessary.
Here's the Penacony News. Once again, another moment of peace and passion.
There's an accounting book lying on the ground. It must have...
On the title page is written Chen Katong. Is
This Jian Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around.
Kentong. I thought you say something.
Every tick of the clock is a tasty one.
Okay, I see another Hanyu.
And there's the tie.
that skit before said that the deceased was strangled. Is this tie some...
The tag on the tie reads, only for Imperial Master Lefton. Seems like it's one of Miss...
That's not how you use the word.
Imperial.
Become part of the...
He likes those things.
So, it's just like the first case then.
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a law-abiding...
I love he just makes fun of her. There's not the...
What's that smell?
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This...
Somebody save me from this cringe joke.
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense...
Have you dealt with many masked?
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories baked in sunshine.
that is a red herring. Actually, I wonder where the term red herring comes from. One of those literature terminologies.
This clock is...
Open it up and take a look.
So there's a ring inside.
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth.
In the victim's mouth?
She doesn't even believe it.
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring. John?
Oh, so that's there then. Like, it's like inside the victim's mouth. She sounds like fucking disgusted about it. It's disgusting. Let's go back to...
A little stool that seems quite normal. There are...
The footprints, which are half as big as standard, must belong to a Pepeshi person.
Perhaps it's just that this person's... That should be it. Let's head out.
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but...
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway,
shallow intuition. Yeah, I wonder that. Okay, hello, Sherry.
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon.
pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective
What
Black Swan.
reputation?
As smart as the nest of magpies roosting in... Then go ahead. Who is the...
Identify the murder.
Good. Then let us appreciate your power.
Wait, who is the murderer?
How's it going, Detective Black?
Oh, okay, so let me see.
Have you... This guy, Zhongshan, is a car...
McCoy. Use the blue. Of course, shark. Right.
Here's the Penacony News. Once again,
Have you... Right as a Pepeshi citizen.
Right stool.
This stool is a piece...
That's right! Miss Sparkle always teased poor Wright until he was unable to take it any longer, taking advantage of him. Miss Sparkle never thought Wright would retaliate against her, so she went back with him to the changing room. As he then suddenly pulled it. What a tragedy!
Wait, I actually got it right?
Is something wrong here?
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means, Mr. Assistant Detective, please...
Ah, I see.
Correct, Detective Sampo. I never thought you'd be...
Sheriff, the murderer is right.
Yes! For the laughter, how did I fail to realize this formidable intellect of yours?
Then, right from the start, there was no murderer.
Goodness me! deputy sheriff is he really?
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where...
I take it so seriously. Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn right until you get to the Intelligentsia Guild. We're only anyway. Since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case, I will now share Miss...
So that's it? This is just...
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some...
Would never close. Oh, golly.
Once again,
Isn't she quite the playful one?
and that concludes the news.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Truly, Miss Sparkle is a fascinating person. She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand. Like a performer on the stage or child hungering for attention. This game will be over soon. This time, we're going to catch her.
Oh, are we now?
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here. I am the famed detective of... A murder in a locked room has left us...
As expected.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle, and we stayed the night. But this morning, Miss Sparkle didn't come out of her bedroom.
Legacy. Mask here, mask here. Oh gosh.
The butler, Jean Shen, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her. But Miss Sparkle had never slept in so late. And no matter how hard he knocked, as soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened. So I acted decisively and broke the door down to get in. The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle, her face white as snow. One look told me she'd been dead for some... Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist's canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but... Alas! Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, Lefton the cook and Wright the driver were also at the scene of the crime.
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the... Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart
Wait up!
Honest.
No
cheating!
Huh. Mr. Assi...
No?
Let's go. Can't...
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up! Wait up! Miss Sparkle... Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it?
Sampo?
Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy Clocky's pizza. Every stick of the clock is a tasty one.
No, okay.
There's no weird sweet dreams troupe, nor is there evidence strewn all over the place.
Hey! Dear Memo Keeper and Mr. Coldfeet, I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle. That's on me. All right. Miss Sparkle cares not for the faults of ants like me. Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night?
No murder case this time around?
Sometimes it's nice to take things easy.
Seeing as you're right here in front of me like...
Womp womp. The correct answer is... Sparkle!
So all of them were incorrect in the first place.
When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster. So naturally she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
That's so damn stupid.
What the heck was that gibber?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you've just tried to cheat.
Cheat? What do you mean cheat? Cheat? What are we cheating about? We'd rather face a fucking trash can.
Again, the ill tidings manifest.
Step aside. I have no interest in stoking conflict. The truth of life and death, revealed in this sanctuary, is but a vision. Break!
Let's go. Rules are made to be broken.
Here we go.
Get them!
The past lower trap. Yo, I love this. How you touch it.
Huh? Holy smokes! What's up with this?
Huh? No voices?
Wait. Something's off.
No, of
course. Miss, you killed Sparkle.
No, you
How is this possible? How can people die in...
You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams.
Only the
Oh, I understand.
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the... There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
yeah, I figured that.
Miss...
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character.
This? If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is...
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean...
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. The key to solving the puzzle lay in 2 pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw 2 conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case. Because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the
That makes no
detective's
sense.
description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, and so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. And, judging by his behavior, it probably had something to do with that canvas. Like some final word. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me. That the murderer is the assistant, which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. Use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper, and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts.
Dude, Farrell almost got tricked.
Salvage it, and protect them carefully. The truth does not lie. Neither.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close.
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom, using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed, was not the murderer, but rather...
What a pity, such a pity. My dear, you were Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's body. Ding-a-ling! I won!
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all 3 of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady, I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other, seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work?
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
Wow, isn't that interesting? She'll probably reject.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with—
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch two fish with one cast...
So...
Yep.
Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Yep.
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me. Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is?
This is Bellabog, right?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
Dang, that was like incredible. How she was over to. Oh wow, that's incredible. You confused them. I guess that's true, like aha moment. Yeah.
What a special dream this has been. And did you notice its nested structure? Being part of a play inside the dreamscape, it's as real and captivating as being in a dream within a dream.
Oh, that was quite interesting.
A dream about eons?
That's the end of Miss Black Swan. Oh, sure enough. Those puzzles are going to be easy for a trail. I'm afraid that Miss Sparkle would argue. I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. It's worth repeating that dreams are just dreams. And in Penacony, dreams can be processed or even tampered with. Things in our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone in someone else's dreamscape. If there's any information that you'd like to confirm, please do so.
Really? I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything you've asked. As agreed, shouldn't you give my mask back to me now?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting? Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar, third barrel on the left. You never saw me. But Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? This doesn't seem like... Let me guess. A catastrophe is coming to Urello 6.
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense.
Oh my gosh, he took it to heart.
Sometimes even an old-timer like me feels like taking the stage
And making a fool out of myself.
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of person who values friendship highly.
Yeah, sure.
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog. After all, the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks isn't something old Sempo can stand by. Go tell Giovanni I said hi.
Fine, I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it so serious. Why so serious?
Wow. So something is going to happen to Jarlo 7? What is going to happen? I thought something's going to happen more than the Shinja because of, two criminal, highly level criminals are being investigated at this point. Sure, I'll take it. I'll go. Oh, really? He's still. That was so. Wait. Yeah, forest yeah, Kiwi in disguise too. Action? No, we're serious. If you're like moment. It's enough. I naturally would sad my school is cool. Friends who know after bed, she's able to examine. Looks like she has a that is like a interesting ending I ever seen. So I